Hello friends, Sean Dyche has already made an instant impact at Everton, beating Arsenal by 1-0. It was a brilliant result, but it was the performance and some of the methodology in that game that really impressed me. Join me today as we head to the tactics board to talk about what I found so impressive about Everton's performance and why that's leading me to believe that they will be absolutely fine and will not be relegated this season. If you enjoyed the video, please leave it with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. But now let's talk about why I don't believe Everton will be relegated. I want to have a look at the Arsenal game and I want to specifically talk about the way that Everton set up. Now they obviously set up in this 4-5-1 formation, which I thought was very brave to begin with. I think it would have been very easy for Sean Dyche to have gone with a 3 at the back, set people out in front and then tried to play a low block. He did the low block part, but also Everton had ambitions going forwards. But one of the major parts of this game I was extremely impressed by was the positioning of certain players. And we're going to have a look at that now. Doucouré and Onana are two of the most pivotal people in this side, not because they played so well or because they had impotence going forward as well as defending, but also because of the way that they position themselves against Arsenal. When you think about playing Arsenal, there are two really pivotal areas and key areas that you really need to look at, especially when defending. This is this one here, where Doucouré is, and it's also where Onana is. Now, when we look at it, these players are positioned perfectly here. Onana's here and Doucouré is here, and that's no joke. It's not by accident. They've looked at the way that Arsenal play and they've occupied two of the spaces where Arsenal's main threats and players are, and that is Granit Xhaka, believe it or not, and Martin Odegaard. When Martin Odegaard takes up this position where Onana is, he likes to drive into midfield or cut out to be able to rotate the ball round, and he just starts dictating the play. You can play through balls into the striker, he can play passes past the fullback, and he can also play a long diagonal pass round into the left-hand side winger. Now, Granit Xhaka does something a little bit different, but it also occupies the same level of space. He makes driving runs in between the centre-back and the full-back. This creates a lot of havoc in space and causes them to start backing up, causes them to start moving backwards, and then you have the other player, the winger on the left-hand side of Granit Xhaka, cut inside or make a diagonal run into the channel. The way that Arsenal play is extremely fast-paced and extremely good tactically, which is why it's so impressive that Everton were managed to nullify them. They did such a good job of making sure that it was difficult for them to be broken down, and they had themselves in pivotal areas. But not just that, they also had the calmness of mind and calmness of the head to be able to get the ball out into the wide channels. Iwobi was a big part of this. He was able to go back, and so was McNeil. But also they were able to spin and then go back the other way. Now, Onana's driving force in being able to take the ball himself and just drive out of the pitch is also something that's extremely useful. But when we look at this entire side, what do we see? We see energy, we see Doucouré, we see Idrissa Gana Gueye, we see Onana, we see McNeil and Iwobi. All of these players are willing to work very hard, and that's exactly what they did for Sean Dyche. And then in front of them, they have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a hitman, someone who they can really go towards, someone who can hold the ball up and then bring the rest of these players into play. It's a very simple tactic and a very simple system, but it's one that was utilised to such great effectiveness that I think that Everton will be absolutely fine going forwards. McNeil on this left-hand side with his left foot able to cross the ball into the box. Iwobi with his right able to drive forwards and then do exactly the same thing. The amount of pressure they were put under, but also the ability to get out of that pressure is extremely impressive. I'm aware it's one game and I know a lot of people are going to say new manager bounce, but Sean Dyche has been around the block. He knows how to get these players working. He knows what he's doing, and the fact that he already isolated two key scenarios and two key moments in the place of where Granit Xhaka was and the place of where Martin Odegaard was, completely nullifying them and stopping Arsenal from really breaking through those channels, breaking through those lines, should give Everton fans a massive amount of hope, a massive amount of belief, because this team clearly can do it. They clearly can defend, and they clearly have the know-how to be able to see out a game, get a goal, and then make sure that they can go back the other way and get that clean sheet. It was an extremely impressive performance from Everton, and it wasn't just the performance of the players, it was the tactical nous from the manager, and that is the reason and one of the main components why I think Everton will be absolutely fine. But it wasn't just defensively that Everton was so good, and this is another reason why I think that Sean Dyche is going to do a fantastic job with this team, especially with the resources that he has at hand. When we look at the way Everton went forwards, they really dominated the flanks and really made it difficult for Arsenal to defend them in wide areas. You had the quality of McNeil, who was able to go through and then play his crosses into the box. Dominic Calvert-Lewin always playing inside that area. But at the same time, you also had driving runs from Onana. We spoke about him defensively, but Onana and Doucouré did a brilliant job of both getting into the box and also driving in to drag players away. This gave space to the rest of the players and allowed the wingers to really do their jobs. It was a very, very simple yet brilliantly executed play of attack. It was just very, very well sought after. And then I want to show you something else. When Arsenal managed to recover possession, when they managed to get the ball back, think about a counter-attack and when Arsenal are transitioning back into playing against Everton to go on the counter-attack and go on the break. Look at this line of defence. These two essential walls that are stopping Arsenal from really breaking through. These are walls of energy, these are walls of pace, these are walls of power. McNeil is very good defensively, so is Iwobi. He's willing to work very hard. Doucouré is very good in the channels, and so is Onana. So it's not just those pockets of space that I highlighted earlier, it's also the ability to really have that channel covered. They have so much energy and so much dynamism that it helps Everton to such a certain extent. It just makes it very difficult for Arsenal to play through them, and I think it's going to be exactly the same for a lot of other teams. If Arsenal can't do it, other teams are going to really struggle as well. And then you have the channel that Idrissa Gana Gueye covered, and look at that. That was all covered by 3 players, and I know the energy is a lot, and I know the intensity needed to be high, but if they can keep it up, and if they can make sure that they believe in Sean Dyche's plan, Everton will be absolutely fine. Defensively, they are organised, they are orchestrated, and they are very, very good, but offensively, they have 2 very good crosses of the ball. If they can keep Dominic Calvert-Lewin fit, they have a very good striker, and at the same time, they're very dangerous on set pieces because they're quite tall. Tarkowski was a very good example of that. Good crosses into the box, like I said, from McNeil and Iwobi, and it just creates that little bit of balance in the side that allows them to have the positivity to go forward, but also the mental resilience to be able to defend. Everton, as I've said, will be absolutely fine. That's it for today, guys. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave the video with a like and subscribe if you haven't for more content like this coming very soon. Make sure you hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss what's coming up in the near future. And let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on Everton. Do you see them getting relegated, or do you see them staying up? Can Sean Dyche do the job that so many Evertonians want him to and keep them in the Premier League? Let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. But like I said, that's it from me for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, my friends, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.